keeps. Hurts cuts. Hurts has the first down. And Jalen Hurts. But it just put it away for the Eagles.
The Philadelphia Eagles select Devontae Smith, wide receiver, Alabama.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of Party on Broad. Our NFL draft coverage continues. Guys, if you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe button. Hit that like button if you love the Philadelphia Eagles, if you love the NFL draft, if you love the Georgia Bulldogs, because we have a special guest today. My man Derek from Dogcast. Check them out on Twitter at Dogcast, thedogcast.com. What is going on, Derek? Thanks for joining, man.
Hey, man, I am happy to be on a Philadelphia sports show, man. You got to be kidding me. When I was growing up, I wanted to do a show. I wasn't thinking I'd be on Philadelphia sports radio.
Love it. We already have a comment in the chat saying, "Go Dogs" from Bubby Dean.
Yeah, I know. That's one of my guys right there. I see you, Bubby. I like that, man. Thanks, buddy.
Man, how does it feel to be national champions?
It feels as good as you think it does, man. I mean, I tell you, for Georgia, for a while now, we've been trying to build something. We've been trying to replicate, everybody in college football is trying to do what Nick Saban's doing in Alabama. And for us, playing in the SEC East and always having to go through Alabama, having lost 7 in a row and we've lost 3 in a row to Nick Saban. Kirby had lost 3 in a row to Nick Saban. It's a huge, just a thing to get off our back, right? It was something we needed. We needed it more than Bama needed it, and we got it done.
Awesome, man. So what we're doing today, and congrats. Like, I remember when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, that was
it is
that entire year was just a celebration.
It fuels your whole year, right? It really does.
It was awesome. And it gave the Eagles like an excuse for poor football the next 2 years. We're not here anymore. We're not there anymore. But the Eagles definitely have some promise, a lot of promise, moving forward with 3 first-round draft picks. And that's what we're here to talk about today, because there are a lot of really interesting names with the Georgia Bulldogs and the Philadelphia Eagles. And leading off, we're going to start off with Nakobe Dean. What's your kind of summary of Nakobe Dean, and what do you think he's going to bring to the NFL?
Well, I mean, he was he's been with our program for a while, and he is going to be really good. I'll tell you, the thing that I think about when I think about Nakobe Dean out of this group that you're talking about is this whole thing about quick processor and also his speed. I mean, Georgia's defense is all about speed, closing rate, playing from sideline to sideline, right? This guy is an NFL-ready player in year one, a lot like Roquan, who played the same position, Roquan Smith, who's up at Chicago. We've been building championship linebackers for a while now. Kirby's whole calling card is defense, and Nakobe Dean anchored this generational defense that led the NCAA. I mean, they gave up fewer points than any defense in the modern era, right? Per game and per season. And a lot of that is due to Nakobe Dean. The thing that's good about this kid is not just that he is an elite tackler. That's one thing you need to know about him. So if he gets his hands on you, the play is over, right? He's like the finger of God. When he gets to you, that's the end of the play, right? And he's coming really fast. There's a play in the Michigan game this year where he was lined up at middle linebacker. Michigan runs their best running back out in the flat on a kind of a swing out screen. This kid is already in the flat, and Nakobe is still lined up directly behind the nose tackle, and Nakobe still gets to him after the snap and tackles him before he gets within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage. He just tracks you and gets to you with a speed that is pro level right now. He's fantastic. And I'll tell you, he's also, and this is important for the NFL, he's no damn slouch at coverage either, because he's so fast and he's really athletic. He's not just an elite tackler with elite speed. He can drop back into a nickel or a dime and, become basically a star extra defensive back, which is a fantastic value at the NFL level.
Yeah, look, this guy's name comes up all the time when we're doing mock drafts, mock draft simulators. We're talking about the Eagles and where they should go with picks 15, 16, and 19. This guy's name comes up all the time. And given how starved the Eagles are at the position, man, they haven't had a good linebacker, a really good linebacker since I think Jeremiah Trotter. It's been forever.
Sure.
This guy, if I had to grade this like 0 out of 10, like 10 being a high need, perfect fit for the Philadelphia Eagles, I go probably a 9.5, 10 out of 10.
Sure.
The only issue in that is Howie Roseman, our general manager, does not draft linebackers in the first round whatsoever. He hasn't done it in years and years and years. So this is the year to bite. This is definitely the year to bite. I have Nakobe Dean as my number 2.
I'll tell you, he's super. I'll tell you another thing that's I think really important about this kid. He's played for us for 3 years. He's been a full-time starter now for 2, and I can't remember him being injured. He's super durable. I mean, he's just fast, durable, and sure-handed with the tackle. I mean, what else do you need to know?
Man, he would be just an instant fan favorite in Philadelphia. Philly fans love their linebackers, man. And the second he joins the Eagles, I guarantee you he would lead like rookies in jersey sales. That's also, how.
I can't say enough about him. I know him. I've met him. I've talked to him. I've hung out with him a little bit.
Cool.
Just on a side note, he's a really cool guy. He's not a thug. He's not he's not a shit. I mean, he's not a bad dude, right? He's a cool kid. He's a nice kid. He comes from a good family. He's got a great attitude. He's not he's very team oriented. I mean, he's fantastic. Any team that gets him is going to be happy to have him.
Yeah, really high on our list. Let's move on to Trayvon Walker, one of my favorites, man. What's your kind of quick thoughts on this guy and his projection to the next level?
Right. So Trayvon is one of our edge rushers, and this has kind of been, honestly, I mean, we're really good at interior line, but edge rushers have been really what we've kind of, I think, specialized in lately. You see Leonard Floyd playing now for the Rams, and we have a lot of great players. And Trayvon Walker was able to break into our lineup, the same lineup that had guys like Adam Anderson and guys like Nolan Smith. We have a lot of great edge rushers, and Trayvon is right there. This guy's definitely a first rounder. He is really elite. And I'll tell you, he is not only a fierce pass rusher. He's big. He can bull rush you. He could take your tackle and take you and the tackle right back into the quarterback with a bull rush. But he can also, he is a mismatch waiting to happen because he is so fast. His moves, his positioning on the quarterback, what he's able to do, he's a lot like he's an NFL ready edge rusher who can also, like Nakobe Dean, he can seriously be 30 yards downfield covering a running back in the flat, right? Or covering a running back on a wheel route, which you just don't see out of a kid that's this big. He's blocked passes. He's blocked extra points. He's freaking tall. He's athletic. He's a quarterback terror, both at the point of attack and in coverage.
This is one of my favorite prospects in this draft. Like, there's a lot of love here in Philly for David Ojabo out of Michigan.
Sure.
But like, I don't know, man. I see this guy just as a much more well-rounded 3-down edge rusher in the NFL. I love this dude. I've seen him anywhere from like mid first round to like early second round.
Listen, I know Ojabo's got a lot of love out there, and I know he's a great player, right? But we played head-to-head with those guys. Ojabo was playing with Michigan, went up against our offensive line. He didn't have a single pressure or a single sack. Trayvon, on the other side of the ball, going up against Michigan's number 1 rated offensive line, set up a fishing camp in the backfield of Michigan's offense, right? Trayvon is a better fit and I think a better player overall than Ojabo. He doesn't get the love and he doesn't have the name. And Trayvon, the problem with a lot of Georgia defenders, we're talking about this now, is Georgia is huge on rotations. So our guys don't always have the stats. They don't have 1 million sacks and 1 million pressures, which is why we don't get a lot of Heisman love. We don't get a lot of position love because we're rotating so much. That's Kirby's whole strategy to get us to the championship, right? We rotate a lot. So don't go to sleep on Trayvon. He will succeed at the next level.
Yeah, I fully agree with you, man. Like you look at Ajabo, yeah, the measurables, the physical,
Sure.
the speed, all that, like on the surface is terrific. But if you deep dive into Ajabo's season last year, he definitely got swallowed up against better teams.
Yeah,
Last
he's good against lesser teams, and he's much. Look at the tape of him in the Orange Bowl, dude. I mean, Jamari Salyer embarrassed him in front of his family, dude. But anyway, I mean, I digress, right? We're not here to talk about Georgia's offensive line, right? But anyway, yeah, Trayvon is fantastic.
Yeah. Let's go on to Jordan Davis.
Yeah.
Big guy here in the interior defensive lineman. What's your take on Jordan Davis?
I mean, he's the absolute heart of our team, right? This year, he was the entire heart of our defense. He is the guy. So the first thing you need to know about Jordan Davis is, I mean, one, he's a fantastic kid. His character and more importantly, his leadership is going to be welcome in any locker room, right? And he's an absolute beast of a run stopper. At his size, and yeah, let me tell you, 340 pounds, you're being really generous there, right? His clothes weigh 340 pounds, okay? But he moves. He is so much faster and so much stronger and longer than you think, right? I don't think he can be blocked. He cannot be singled in the NFL, I don't think. He's just going to eat everything in the interior. He's going to force offensive lines to use 2 offensive linemen to get him blocked, because if you don't, he'll eat your quarterback, right? He is an absolute stopper in the middle, and he's going to suck down a lot of blocks, and he's going to be a leader for you in the locker room. Heart of gold, character, and he's durable as all get out. And he also is going to benefit an NFL team because of the rotations. He's not used up. He's not worn out. He doesn't have bad knees. These kids are ready to go to the NFL and make noise.
Yeah, it's interesting because you look at his stats. They're not gaudy stats, but that speaks to your point about Georgia rotating.
He played 33% of our snaps, right? He played 33% of defensive snaps.
Wow.
And was like 5th in the Heisman voting, right? So, I mean, I'm telling you, when he's on the field, he's a problem for your offense.
The Eagles have a question mark, I think, with Fletcher Cox, who wasn't near impactful as he, as much money as he's making. Javon Hargrave is terrific, had a great year. Milton Williams, though, is a name that I thought impressed a little bit his rookie year, but Jordan Davis, I would knock him down a little bit because of where he's going to be selected. You think he's going to be in the first round?
I tell you, I thought earlier in the year he was a lock, for the first round. I mean, he was probably our best defender at midseason, and nothing happened to him. It's just these other guys really just came on so strong, like Nakobe Dean, Trayvon Walker, even a guy like Darion Kendrick, or even Devontae Wyatt, who is the bookend for Jordan Davis, right? Some people are thinking Devontae might go ahead of Jordan Davis.
Interesting.
I don't really think that should be the case, but I also understand I'm not working an NFL draft room either, right? So Jordan, if you get him in the second round, dude, you're playing with house money in the second round.
And the Eagles love to do the same thing, man. The Eagles are they love to rotate their defensive linemen inside, outside, you name it. So really interesting name there. Next up, I've got George Pickens, man. Really intriguing wide receiver. Wide receiver is a major need for the Philadelphia Eagles, whether it's free agency or the draft. I have my top 10 wide receiver rankings dropping tomorrow. Pickens is in that list. What's your thoughts on George Pickens?
I mean, he's the best receiver we've had since A.J. Green, just without a doubt. Wow. His hands and his wingspan, his catch radius. But this guy is a special player. I'm just telling you, he's a special player. I've told you about these other guys, and they're also good. They're really, really good. But I'm telling you, this guy is somehow a little more special, right? He has an attitude. He has a presence, and I'm telling you, if he can touch the ball, he will catch it. But he also has a swagger to him that I think is going to be good. He is a super effective downfield blocker. he's just badass, man. I mean, he's badass. I'm going to miss him. I wish he was staying. He's way too good to stay. He's the kind of kid that you don't even hope he's staying because you know he ain't going to stay, right? This guy is good. I don't know if I don't really believe if he's fully healthy that there's a better receiver in the draft. I don't think any of those kids from Alabama are any better. I don't think there's a better receiver that's more complete than George Pickens. As a blocker, as a catcher, he's complete.
That catch he had in the playoff game, football playoff game. Oh my God! Like
Are you
over
kidding?
Shoulder. Oh,
right?
Insane.
He gets there, dude. Whatever it takes, man, he freaking gets it done. When you need a first down, he will get it done. The only downside for him is sometimes he cares too much, right? I can't say that. I mean, we as fans, we kind of like it, right? If a guy needs to be punched in the face, maybe he'll punch you in the face, right? He's kind of spicy, right? He would probably fit right in at Philadelphia. I mean, one of his most famous plays is he got locked up with a defensive back and they started just freaking tussling. He grabbed the defensive back for Georgia Tech by the face mask and drug him 20 yards and threw him into a brick wall. I mean, just threw him into a brick wall, right? He's a serious man. He's a grown-ass man, and he is a real damn football player, dude.
I love it.
His hands are fantastic, though. His length and his speed are elite.
That might have bumped him up a few spots.
The chip on the shoulder, that's going to fit right in Philadelphia, dude.
Love the swag. Love the swag. Especially at that position. I'm all for it.
Sure.
Absolutely all for
he is a spicy wide receiver, dude. He's not quite Odell. He's not first gen Odell Beckham Jr., but he's on the spectrum, right? He's in there, right? He will light your ass up if he gets mad at you.
Love it. Next up, Darion Kendrick. I've got a day 2 grade on this guy. What's your thoughts on Darion Kendrick?
You know, I'm not really familiar with the rest of the defensive backs that are in, so I can't really speak to him being a day 2 kid. I was actually looking for a stat, though. This guy came to us from Clemson, and he was a captain and a starter at Clemson and played for a national championship as Clemson and then came to Georgia and also played and won a national championship. And I'm pretty sure I have a stat on him, but I think he gave up. I think he was targeted something like 74 times this season and gave up 0 touchdowns. I'm not even sure he gave up a single pass over 20 yards. Wow. He is a shutdown island corner. He's really good, man. He's I don't want to say that he's quite as good as DeAndre Baker, who was an award-winning defensive back for us at corner, who now starts for the Kansas City Chiefs. But this kid is really good and he's got a good story and he is a lockdown corner. I definitely think he's day 2. I think he's a steal at day 2. Like I said, I don't know how much quality is ahead of him, but I'm telling you, he's real good. You don't get a lot on him.
Yeah, I really like him a lot. The cornerback is another position of need for the Philadelphia Eagles, especially a number 2 outside corner. I had him number 10 in my rankings, but that's still a day 2 grade for me.
Probably right. I will say the lack of speed thing. He needs to be in a system that he understands, right? And because maybe he may not have elite speed for NFL wide receivers, the very fastest wide receivers. I don't know if he can cover a kid like Hill or even a Mecole Hardman with Kansas City, but he's a positional guy. But I'm telling you, his ball skills and his head for the game, I think, can alleviate a lot of that speed concern.
Love it, love it, love it. Let's wrap it up with guys that are off the radar, guys that you think no one is talking about in this Georgia Bulldogs draft class, man.
Okay, I'll tell you a guy. So you say guys that nobody's talking about. We mentioned Devonte Wyatt. People are talking about Devonte Wyatt. He is really close to being as good as Jordan Davis. Maybe a touch faster, maybe a touch more versatile because he's not quite as big. He's a little more athletic. He can still stuff the run. He's more of a tackle rather than a nose type guy, and that might be versatile in some guys' systems. Also, Lewis Seen is a fantastic safety, a big, heavy-hitting run support safety who can cover. And, I mean, the guy has picks. The guy has coverage skills, and he is also, he's a lot like the kid Davis that used to play for the Panthers, a kid who might be a safety but might also be a linebacker in a pinch, right? He's that kind of size and run support. But I'll tell you, the guy you didn't mention, you led with Nakobe Dean. Poor man's Nakobe Dean. Here's the pick of the draft for you. Channing Tindall is a fantastic player, dude.
He was one of the stars of practice yesterday at the Senior Bowl.
He's freaking awesome. He is 100% fast. He is a sure tackler. He's durable as hell. That guy is a menace. And I don't think he's getting the love that he should, but Lewis Seen and Channing Tindall are going to make a roster, and they are going to make hay. Georgia's got 15 players on this draft board, right, that are trying to get drafted. Those guys are in my top 8. They're all like before their first two. They're going in the first 4 rounds.
Yeah, I think Channing Tindall's probably arguably right. One of the fastest linebackers in this class. Just a terror, sideline. Yeah. Yeah, love it, man. All right, thank you so much. Oh, we have a comment from Bubby. Lover, man.
Lewis Seen. He looks like a cartoon character. He really does. When he takes his helmet off, he looks like, I don't know, some kind of cartoon character. You can't see his eyes. His hair is like 360 degrees around his head. But let me tell you, when he hits your ass, you're put in the ground, right?
Lewis Seen was all over that championship game, all over the place.
He sure was. He's fantastic. And these guys are team-oriented. They're durable, versatile, and well-coached. They're all going to make you guys happy. Get as many as you can. Love it.
Thank you so much for joining, Derek. Where can we find you, man? What do you got going on over there at the Dogcast?
Oh man, we're doing a first ever thing on the Dogcast tomorrow. We're gonna have listeners. We're gonna do live listeners. We've never done live listeners on the show before, but we've got a lot of guests lined up. We had signing day today, and things are looking up for Georgia football. I mean, hell, the spring game is right around the corner, dude. It's football 365 days a year in Athens, Georgia. So do we have a basketball team? I don't know. It's football 365 days a year, right? So just visit dogcast.com. Check us out on iTunes. Hit us up on Spotify. Check us out. It's the best. We're the original. I'll tell you a little fact about the Dogcast. We're the original Georgia football podcast. We've been continuously doing shows since 2005. So we're the oldest, the biggest, and the best. If you want to follow Georgia football, check us out at Dogcast. Love
it, man. Enjoy life. Just celebrate, man. I'm just so happy for you guys. That was a great win for you and that program. But thanks for joining, man. As always, if you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe button. Hit that like button if you love Georgia football, the NFL draft. Again, I've done now 6 mock draft simulations for the Philadelphia Eagles. That's already on the channel. Linebacker rankings, cornerback rankings, edge rusher rankings, my wide receiver rankings dropping tomorrow. And then I have an Alabama podcast for next week to keep our draft coverage rolling. But thank you, Derek, man. You're the man. That was awesome. You got me pumped for George Pickens. George Pickens, man. That's the take.
He's your kind of guy. I'm telling you. He's a Philadelphia boy. Trust me. You'll love it. I
love hearing how high you are on Trayvon Walker because I don't know if enough Eagles fans know how good that guy is.
Yeah.
So
he's the edge rusher you want. If you don't get him next year, maybe you can get Nolan Smith.
Yeah, true.
Thanks, man.
All right. Have a good one. Stay awesome, everyone.
Third down. Hurts keeps. Hurts cuts. Hurts has the first down. And Jalen Hurts might just put it away for the Eagles.
The Philadelphia Eagles select Devontae Smith, wide receiver, Alabama.